feeling a little bit cringy. Why you are tired? Just shut your eyes closed. An update about our holiday planning. Second one that I got for myself earlier this week. Hello you guys, welcome to a brand new vlog. It's 2 p.m. today and I'm starting it with doing sports. Holger has just picked up Leia and tries to make her sleep in the car, which means that she'll be sleeping maximum of 1 hour long. And I need to be ultra efficient and quick to do the activities that I want to do. I was not feeling physically very well and I was very stressed out at work, and I know doing sports would have helped, but you know, I just could not get myself to it. And then over the weekend we were having Holger's parents visiting us. That also threw me off the band in terms of my usual routine of vlogging over the weekend. The weather was absolutely dreadful, like 15 to 17 degrees. We just went to a small children's museum, which was fun, but also something that was not age appropriate for Leia. She is way too small, and as we know her, she got overwhelmed, she was clinging on the body, didn't really interact with much of the items that were displayed. So actually, in an ideal world, I think for a little bit bigger children, it would have been a heavenly place to explore and learn by playing. We still enjoyed doing it, but turned out not very fitting for her. Also, it was in Altona, quite further away from where we live. Actually, it's okay, but it happened to be the last day of the Pride Week and some other event was happening as well. So there was traffic jam like we have not seen in long months. We have spent over 1 hour in the car. She was freaking out, so much so that I was even considering to take her out and switch to the public transport. But even there were some construction works and it was raining only every half an hour. Anyway, to keep it short, it was one intense weekend. And obviously with guests over, we wanted to spend time with them and them, you know, the attention that they deserve. So obviously it was not in the books to vlog. I really envy for the consistency and, you know, like this mental steadiness for the girls who do whatever they do, but very regular. But I have to also remind myself that they do it for a living. It's their work. And so everyone in their surrounding is understanding of that. I think Volker's parents would not have appreciated if I would have pulled out my camera, which is my hobby, and vlogged over the weekend. So I don't really have a lot of footage. That's what I was getting to, and I rambled like, I don't know, half an hour long now. But I think it's not a flop. I have a little bit of footage from previous vlogs that I ended up not including because of the length of the videos that I was already having. So it's gonna be a little mix of those as well. So for you to know what to expect, I think this vlog is gonna include maybe a few highlights of what's gonna happen in this week. We're planning to go to a restaurant today in the evening after I visit my doctor, but I'm gonna be talking about that a little bit later. And also I wanted to show you a few updates about the toys and items that we got on the flea market, but also new from the stores. I also have one chatty segment, which was sort of a closure for the past vlog, but I eventually left it out. I was like feeling a little bit cringy when editing that. I don't know, I always feel like when it comes to topics, politics, and how I feel about it, and why I'm not so engaged in what's happening around the world, and why I'm not informed. And when I talk about it, I feel like that feels a little bit justifying in a way, or the message doesn't come across. I really struggle with words, and I feel like that a hobby that I chose for myself is so, I don't know, challenging in that sense, because it's like putting up a mirror in front of me and seeing every single week when I'm editing it if whatever I wanted to say is coming across so that I stand fully behind it. And most of the time it doesn't, or I feel a little bit ashamed of the way I articulated it. Anyhow, let's get started with the workout. Otherwise, Leia's gonna be here and I still will be trying to articulate myself, and most likely unsuccessfully.
Talk to me nice, talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes, don't let it fall on me. Say you're a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see how. Rewind, when we rewind.
I'm out of breath, sweating. As a pause, I wanted to quickly show you these little flowers that I got from my in-laws. How pretty are those? I also had another set of flowers that I got for myself over the course of the week to sort of loosen up the day and, soften up the bad weather from outside, to bring a little bit of spring inside. Second one that I got for myself earlier this week. So house is full of flowers, at least that brings joy to me. I think I need to quickly get out a little bit. Fresh air. Phew, that was tiring. Can you see the sweat? That's how it feels to do sports these days. But it feels good. I sometimes find it so awkward to film myself doing sports, but I find it so motivating because I'm proud each time I think about it. I'm proud each time I see it while editing. So, I don't know, don't excuse yourself. Don't feel bad about the methods and the tools that you have in place to motivate yourself. Whatever works to keep you disciplined, do that. But at the same time, don't bash yourself if you don't feel like doing it, or if you're not in the season of your life where you have energy or readiness to implement any kind of exercise in your routines. That was literally me last 2 years. Just recently started, and even here I'm trying to give myself grace for the days that it doesn't work out, but I equally appreciate the days when I do. Just a short off topic. It's almost like 99% done right now. We just need to install some heating on 2 locations of this pergola, but otherwise it's done. And how great is that? We have also this little area. Now we need to start thinking about how we're gonna style all this. Also, the irrigation has been put in place. I don't know if you can tell, but this is the little blue spot that you see. And here we have my little flower bed. Now, as next step, we need to do on the side of the house to bring it, to the entrance. And then we can start with the cosmetic part of fixing the lawn, planting the flower bed around the sitting area, and then maybe also build a slide which we got for Leia on her birthday in April, you guys, and it's August. Need I say anything more how behind we are with our plans? But we are moving ahead. And that's something to appreciate. Now let's do a little upper body arm workout. Because I don't have 1 kilogram weights, this here, the iced tea and old filled out bottle, is my workout gear. Hi guys, it's another day. In fact, it's a few days later. It's 15 o'clock. And the only reason Leia is not here and I'm not on my mom duty is because she did not sleep in daycare. I've been thinking about the paradox of life that starts with childhood. The older you get, one of the biggest problems parents usually have is to get children out of bed. But when they are born, they won't sleep. They don't want to shut their eyes closed. Even nowadays, when I sit in the car, I pretend that I'm sleeping so that she closes her eyes as well. Well, it's normal for children of that age to take example of their parents, but I still can't stop asking myself, why? You are tired. Just shut your eyes closed. I'll be honest, I've dwelled about this topic long enough, so I'm actually really over it. The only thing that annoys me right now is that today Falco was planning to go to meet up with the boys, or he is going to meet up with the boys. That means that I'll have extra long evening to spend alone with her, which, don't get me wrong, is a privilege and is beautiful, but evenings usually are really tough, and I'd be honest saying that I'd rather not have to do the entire evening routine of bringing her to bed alone. Also, there is huge risk that I'm gonna pass out and there won't be anything of the evening for me left. Now you probably wonder, if she did not go to sleep, why she will have extra long evening, and it is because every time we pick her up, she's so tired and stayed on such a bad mood that we cannot pulled it through to the evening. I know a lot of parents recommend it, but honestly, I don't find it anyhow good for her and for her development. Small research will show you that children of her age need nap. They need a break in this long stretch of a day. And I know it will come off judgmental, but it's more self-defense, because I'm responding to those who say, oh, why don't you try to pull until evening and then she's gonna sleep earlier. I said that it's actually selfish to do it that way, because her brain is not ripe enough to be awake 12 hours long, and that translates into her acting up. She's not on a mood to cooperate, but also to absorb and get the information that she's getting from everything that she's seeing and doing. So every time we pick her up, she passes out, either in the car or when we bring her home, I lay her down. She falls asleep instantly. So I don't really know what's wrong and why it's not working in the daycare. That's what makes our evenings very long in the end. Now, I wanted to give you a little update about what happened at the doctor's. I've been having the tailbone pain since quite a long time now. To be frank, I can't really exactly pinpoint when it started, but I think it has become more evident, at least for me, ever since birth experience. I think I've mentioned here and there that it was, as everyone else's, it was very intense one. Basically, I could not birth her myself, so she had to be vacuumed out. She was having the tube around her neck, and then she got stuck on the tailbone, or that's at least how they told us, and could not come out. So I wonder if that big pressure that, continued quite some time before they tried everything to get her out without having to use any, equipment like that vacuum, if that could have caused this sustainable pain. But over the course of last month, it has gotten so bad that I can't sit at work, or I can sit, but I have constant pain. Same applies to when being at home, when lying in the bed. If I pay attention to it, it's constantly there. So I wanted to clear that up. I did not film that day because I got on such a pissed mood, because I arrived at the doctor. They did not have enough personnel, which can happen, but it's also somewhat strange when you have pain hour and you don't have enough personnel. Still tried to be understandable and organized another day for myself, communicating with Falco if he could take over the childcare in the afternoon, and went for an appointment. And I arrived and they told me, oh, you are not our patient anymore. I don't know what misunderstanding happened the last time, when I also was a little bit upset and said them that I was actually considering to switch the doctors, but that's it. That's what I said, nothing more. They somehow thought that I was leaving, so they cancelled me as a patient. Apparently, from January to now, I did not have a general doctor. So they were saying, we can't accept you. But long story short, with a lot of clarification, me being once again very, very upset about the situation, they then, backtracked and received me. I have certain proposals how to proceed on that way. But that's something I've been telling Falco all the time, and he somehow feels like, I know, every time I tell something bad about Germany, he somehow takes it personal. Have you ever had a similar experience? I don't even know why, because I know a lot of Georgians who arrive to Germany because when they have serious diseases, and they are so grateful for medical care they get here. And I think when it comes to those terminal or very life-threatening diseases, Germany stands up there. But when it comes to general visits to the doctors, and if you have especially the public insurance, Germany is the last place you would want to be. Well, at least where I come from is a lot better than that. You don't get appointments, no one answers on the phone. A lot of them don't have Doctor or any kind of, online systems where you can make appointments. And when you come, such dubious misunderstandings happen. And mostly you get ridiculous advice like drink water or it's normal, and being sent away, not being taken seriously. So obviously I'm complaining about an experience like that. Falco seems to be a bit irritated with all that. Later on, we went to a restaurant, but I found it really difficult to film because Leia would not rest on one spot. So we just ate what we intended to eat, large pizzas, and then headed back home. Basically, that was end of the day. Also, I don't remember exactly anymore if I've ever given you an update about our holiday planning. It's a lot of discussion and searching and frustration related to it. And me being also indecisive, we decided to book a few days getaway here on the North Sea. There is a little island called Sylt which apparently is a very famous one for its nature, but also for German promis, many of whom I don't actually really know, but because it also has this, you know, like it has this luxury boutique areas, and it's pretty expensive, well, as everything nowadays when it comes to holidays. It became somewhat famous and comparable to those islands in the southern parts of Europe in a way that it's more this luxurious experience. Before, I always wanted to go there, but not as much to put it as our priority. And before Leah was there, we would always opt for going to the southern part of Europe rather than going to Sylt. And now, because we could not come up with anything else, we decided to book a few days there. We will be taking my mom on board, who is visiting us in 2 weeks' time. I just cannot wait, I'm counting the days. And we booked a little suite, which is a little bit different than suites that I know. The most of the suites that we have seen in the hotels, you know, like usually you have the sitting area, but it's not really separated from the sleeping area, and that's what was very, very important for us, so that when Leia goes to sleep, we still can stay awake for a few hours and do our things, which would not be possible in the common space. On the pictures, it looked like being like duplex type of accommodation, where the bedroom is upstairs, the rest of the area with a little couch is downstairs. So let's see about that. Very excited. But saying that, the past 2 weeks have been so bad in terms of weather. It's so cold that I honestly don't even know if it's worth spending that money and going there if we have to sit just indoors. So keep all the fingers crossed that it clears up a little bit, so that we finally get to see what is it that everyone is talking about when it comes to Sylt. Okay, that is my makeup of the day. I can't be bothered to do anything with my hair, especially that I'm planning to do sports later in the evening. If I don't fall asleep with Leia, I think it makes sense to keep it in the bun. Before we most likely go to the library to check out the children books, I wanted to super quickly show you the new toys that I got for Leia. This is the one that I've been eyeing really long time, but it was really expensive for me to justify purchasing, and it's not something that I could find on the second-hand market. And now that we are going to Sylt, or hoping that we go to Sylt, we thought that having such a picnic set with child-proof silicone grade that can be played with water but also with sand would be a good idea. And also, I have such a childhood memory with this little basket. When I showed this to my mom, she instantly screamed through the phone, "My goodness, we had exactly the same one." And it is true, we had exactly same basket. I think it was slightly bigger, but obviously we did not have all the items inside. So it's, as told, a picnic set with this cute pastel colors with different ice cream cones, as well as, you know, muffin forms and cups and very cute plates. So super adorable. This one is by Leewood. Need we even to ask a question? Okay, it took a moment to tend to Lei, who was complaining in the background. So now I'm back. And other things that I'm going to show you right now are from the local market. There are often the weekend markets where people sell their toys and their, you know, like old items they don't want to store or keep anymore. And it's really great place to go out and find very good toys and books, actually. And the one of them was this little memory game with all the farm animals and, you know, little tractor. Basically what I loved about it is that it is made out of wood. You have such little pieces of wood that have different motifs on them. They're in great condition and, you know, just perfect for a 2-year-old, because she tends to bend all the paper cards that you get for her. Next actually is multiple set of Legos that we have in our beautiful pink Lego storage box. This one I purchased new. We had a starter set of Lego and it came with this super ugly green box that I could not make myself to like. And because I knew that it would be staying around, I decided to get something that was not very cost-effective purchase, but at the same time great one because I love the way it looks. I can't really particularly show you right now which sets we got. I just looked inside and obviously the pieces are apart, so I could not really show you the sets, but maybe I'm gonna insert pictures of the particular ones that we chose. Leia is into different kind of modes of transportations, and we did not have airplanes for her, so one set is with control, place, and little airplane. And in the similar mode, we got also another set with little motorcycle and police guy with a little house. And separate set with all the animals, like tiger and chicken, and obviously a cat, a panda, little giraffe. So practically the entire zoo. She's just sitting at my feet and playing with the Legos right now, so I can imagine it's probably too loud for me to continue. Instead, I'm gonna try to convince her to go out, and instead I'm gonna insert a little footage that I filmed earlier past weeks. Another week is almost over, you guys. It's Friday. I just finished working and waiting for Leia to come home. She was not feeling very well yesterday, but in the morning it felt sort of okay. And as we both had a huge load of work to do, we decided to try with the daycare. As they have not contacted us, we hope that everything went fine. Now, I wanted to show you in this vlog as well a few toys that I got for her, because that's what I do. I show you things that we get and that I'm excited about, that carry some kind of memories or special meaning for me. And I don't know, hope maybe it inspires you, hope that you find it also maybe interesting and would want to get something similar, or maybe not even. At the same time, I feel so lost in this world, probably most of the people. I know that it's not a very good strategy to avoid the news and what's happening around the world or in my own home country altogether. It's not how it should be, because putting yourself in this ostrich pose of having your head in the sand won't change the fact how situation is, how many people are suffering, how injustice and unfair world it has become to live in, and how many people dedicate themselves and their lives to not cooperate with it, fight against it, and how many people find themselves in a completely helpless situation, like those children in the Middle East who are hungering. And we get this daily newspapers at work, and that's what I was getting at. I try to avoid reading it because selfishly I just carry it all day, and I don't know, maybe others can cope with it better, but I seem to be very overwhelmed and very, like, feel pressured down. It carries in my relationships with my daughter as well, and yeah, selfishly I try to refrain, at least in a daily consumption of that. So I understand partly people who do that in my own country, and I know I'm also in a bubble or among friend circle who judge sort of and discuss those people being, like in a conformist position of only thinking about material stuff and thinking about their day-to-day things. But maybe that's how we cope, and maybe that's how we can move forward. I don't know, it's another thread in my head, but just sharing it with you, that some days it feels less comfortable for me to share those material items with anyone else, especially after this kind of news which you read about children or even grown-ups dying out of starvation. And I don't know, how can this all be justifiable, and how can this all be put in any kind of logic or sense for anyone, really, for any kind of power, for any kind of anything. Yet again, I also aspire people who can look beyond that. I wanted to bring an example of a friend who I follow on my Instagram. Maybe I'm going to put a handle of hers here just to share. This is a gal who lives in Kiev, and she is such an inspiration for me towards life, to aspiring life, towards living their life just the way it is. Most days she posts that they are getting into the shelters, drones circling the city, showing what has happened over the night, how terrible it has been. And yet in next story she shows how she is getting herself ready to go to office, and she continues to love the things that she loves, daily bits and pieces and fashion and interior. That once again makes me think that there is hope for humanity, that as long as people like that exist who choose to live, who choose to have hope despite everything that is happening and continue enjoying the little things, that we all gonna be all right, that the good side should definitely win. That's basically what I wanted to say in here, and maybe end this vlog on that terms and show you the things that I wanted to show you in the next one. So yeah, that's a little food for thought. And meanwhile, I wish you a great weekend ahead. Please try to make it as good as you can despite everything that might be happening around you as well. I'm gonna see you in my next one.